this week's video with Financial Lizzie. Today we're going to be going over the problems of lack of financial literacy in schools and colleges and all that, ways to circumvent that and ways to actually figure it out for yourself, since that's just not something that's being taught in schools today. So the problem is far too many young adults and even teenagers now have no idea how money works. They have no idea about economics. They don't know how the entire economy functions. They don't understand anything about taxes. Maybe you guys saw that viral video that went just everywhere. Everybody was clipping it and sharing it, of the one young teenage girl who turned 16 or whatever age she was, and she got her very first job and was shocked when she calculated out her 2-week earnings, and then she didn't get that full amount because she hadn't factored in taxes. She had no idea what taxes were until that moment. And her video was crying and saying she didn't see a point to work if this is how it's going to be, and all that. I'm sure you guys have seen, and it was a little while ago, but that just proves my point. More and more people today have no idea how money works, how taxes work. They don't understand how a company is built up. For example, another example, there's a lot of people today that think that if you have a business, you're automatically rich. Like the people that have said, if you, the McDonald's person's rich. The one person that created the company, yes, is rich. They earned that right, worked very hard for it. But when you target a McDonald's store as they're rich so they can afford to raise minimum wage or do whatever with their business because they're rich and they can afford it, that's where you're wrong. McDonald's has, and a bunch of other fast food restaurants as well, but I'm using McDonald's as an example here. McDonald's is a company that is so big you can sign on paperwork and get an agreement to follow their standards, and you can open your own McDonald's restaurant in your chosen location. There's a lot of legal procedures to go through with it, but the point is, you as a small business owner can go and open your own McDonald's restaurant. Now you have to sign all kinds of papers and do all kinds of legal stuff, so it's not copyright. You are legally authorized to open a restaurant under them, but then it's your restaurant. You are a small business owner that created your own restaurant. The difference is, instead of creating your own mom and pop store, by utilizing the McDonald's name, you automatically have some traction with that, because you don't have to advertise that your food's good or that your prices are good or this is what I'm offering. Everybody knows McDonald's. So if you opened your own store under the McDonald's name, you've already got a bit of a head start. I don't know all the fees and everything. I have no interest in that kind of business myself, but there's a lot of legwork involved, so don't think that that's an easy way out. But my point is, a lot of people don't understand how that works. So they will attack McDonald's or any company saying, we're only attacking the big businesses, so you small mom and pop shops don't have to worry. You're still attacking the mom and pop shops. So that's just another example of how financial literacy is not being taught anymore. Now, I have a bunch of notes I wanted to go over with this to make sure I don't miss anything important, but financial literacy is something that needs to come back into our schools. And this is another thing that people say of, well, that's the parents' job. Not quite. The parents are supposed to be teaching everything, and I am 1,000% in agreement as a parent myself that it is the parents' responsibility to make sure their kids are getting the education they need and that they are fully equipped to go out on their own and leave the nest, so to speak, when they're of age. But years before, schools were teaching this stuff, and now they're not. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I'd say maybe there's a reason why. But I'm not going to get into all that, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. So it's important that we focus on teaching children from middle school, even younger if you choose, but middle school up to high school and college, how money works. Especially as soon as they hit 18, then they're getting all of these, you qualify for your first ever credit card or whatever, in the mail. The day they turn 18, suddenly everybody wants to give them loans. They can go to the college of their choice, and if they get accepted in, and apply for a ridiculously high loan with extremely high interest rates just at 18. No backed up credit, no nothing. So we need to teach financial literacy because these people are coming into adulthood with no idea how money works, no idea how canceling student loan debt would affect the economy. So this is something very important people need to understand, and that's what this video is really going to go into a bit more. So it's a big problem that needs to be addressed, and there are ways to handle that. So we have several strategies that we can all implement with this. The first thing is we just have to advocate for change. We can't just sit idly by and complain about it. We have to talk to the teachers and the school boards, and we have to require that those become part of the curriculum. It's our taxpayer dollars going to the schools. We should have a good say in what's being taught. But then we also need to take the responsibility on ourselves, because we all know whenever it comes to anything government funded, whether it's the DMV, Social Security, teachers, schools, whatever, it's slower than watching a tortoise in molasses. It really is. So we need to advocate for the change, and we need to push for it. Try to enforce financial literacy being taught in schools, how taxes work, how the economy works, how money works, how to be an entrepreneur. They don't teach that anymore. How to manage all these things. We need to advocate for that in schools, but then we also need to step back and take the responsibility ourselves as parents, because if we're not doing that, then nobody's going to do that for our kids. They'll have to figure it out someday, and that could get them in serious trouble to begin with. So we as parents have to take the responsibility. Now, as for that responsibility, there are a lot of courses and books and all kinds of resources you can find, but I'll mention some of my personal recommendations as this video progresses, just not yet. But there's a lot of resources out there that we can use. I even have some of my own courses coming in a bit, but mine are not the only ones. If you go to Udemy and just type in anything financial literacy, you're going to find a lot of options. Dave Ramsey, another terrific option. But we need to take charge of that and grow our children's minds and their responsibility. There's ways to teach kids. I think it's called Mint Mobile. I think that's what it is. Now, let me see. What was it called? Let's see. I can't remember what it's called. But it's an app that is specific for kids. The parents are in charge of it, but it's a bank account for kids where they can build up a credit score. They can do all this stuff in real life that's meant to teach them. It's a very high membership fee, as I recall, but I intended to use it for my kids when they're big enough. Right now, my eldest is 2, so she's a little small for it. But I'll look it up and then post it in the comments below so that people can see it. But yeah, that's another resource I'll share below of all the different ways you can teach your children and make it fun. I've seen all kinds of videos of dads taking the Halloween candy and using it to explain things to the kids. There's a lot of options. So that's something else that we can do. And the more we take care of our kids and growing their knowledge base, giving them a good foundation of financial literacy, the stronger they're going to become as an adult. So for those of you that are watching and are adults that did not have the financial literacy, I'll share some books here that I have recommended. I've got quite the stack. I'm very much a reader. So we have Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Great book. He has like 14 books in his series. It's incredible. And each one is very in-depth. I mean, you can see the size of this one. This is one of his smaller ones. So, and then there's Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. It's another good one. Personally, it's not my favorite. I think that there are other experts that offer a lot more information in less steps and less pages, but she's another good one. This guy's another popular one, David Bach. He wrote The Automatic Millionaire, as well as Smart Couples Finish Rich, Smart Women Finish Rich, and several others. But he's pretty good. Then there's Dave Ramsey, of course. He has several books. This one is The Complete Guide to Money. I mean, good size. So lot of information in here. One of my personal favorites, Tony Robbins. I am a huge Tony Robbins fan. I'm not going to apologize for that. And yeah, and this is the first one of a trilogy. So I have his whole series. I have most of his books, not all of them, but most of them. So definitely check out Tony Robbins. Though I will say, if his is a more advanced book of how to invest into stocks and manage with asset allocation and the other examples I was just going to use escape me at the second. It's a more advanced book of how to invest your money when you have it. Some of the other books I listed were how to get that money to invest. So Tony Robbins' book is once you have money, here's how to invest it. Speaking of, here's another one of how to invest into the stock market. It's called The Neatest Little Guide to Stock Market Investing. And I think it's pretty good. So, and it has all the different experts in here of Warren Buffett, Bill Miller, Peter Lynch, all kinds of information. So definitely check that one out if you're looking at stocks. And I have tons and tons and tons of books. Then the last one, I can't honestly have a video on financial teaching if I don't at least advertise my own book. So Your Simple Guide to Money Mastery, also available on Amazon. And actually I lowered the price recently, so because it's not new anymore and I didn't see a reason to have the brand new price up. And I like to just make things more available to people. So those are some books to read on how to grow your financial literacy, but that's only one step. We've got to take action in making sure our kids know how to handle money, that we learn every day how to handle money, we model it properly for our kids, and we need to take action with the school boards and try to push this as something that needs to be done. Now, I still advocate for taking action against the schools with that because, as I just said, that's what this whole video is about. I personally am going to be homeschooling, so I will be guaranteeing that my children have the best education that can be provided. But these are some options here. And as I said, I will also have some courses coming in a bit. There's a lot going on right now, but I'm moving towards that. And then go to Udemy. Tons of resources there. And you could even just look up financial courses online. There's all kinds of varying prices. Even if you just go to Dave Ramsey, he has his Financial Peace University, and while it was not part of my curriculum, I used a different one when I was in school. I was also homeschooled. He has another one that is Financial Literacy for Teens or something like that. So he has a course specifically for high school. So go check out these resources. Please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you thought. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear and to answer them. But it's so important that we focus on raising the next generation to understand how money works. And the best possible way we can do that is we know how money works, so we can model it for our younger kids and answer any questions that they have. So check out these resources, rewind, watch the video again if you need to. All of these books are available on Amazon. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Love to hear from you guys. Bye.